What is up, Real family? Welcome to the Real Advisors podcast. This is actually a very special, monumentous occasion for us. My name is Francis Blow. I am the CEO of Real Advisors, one of the co-founders. And for the very first time on a YouTube podcast, whatever channel you are tuning into, I have my three amazing business partners joining me. And we have a very special topic and really why we created this podcast, why we created our company, which is now a three-time Inc. recognized fastest growing company in the entire country, and what we do and why we do and why we do what is so special. So I'm going to go real quick, introduce my partners, and I want them to share a little bit about themselves here in a moment. But really, we're going to talk about what drives us, why we do the things that we do in our company, what makes our company unique, and more importantly, the difference between winning and losing in business today. Because everyone starts, but very few people finish. Very few people continue. A lot of people quit. And that's what makes the difference between winning and losing today. So with me today, I'm going to go in counterclockwise order from my camera. I'm not sure if it's the same as your camera, but right next to me is my partner, Richard Dunn. What's going on, Richard?
What's up, man?
Awesome. I got Dolmar Cross, the infamous Dolmar Cross.
What's up, Real family?
And I have Brian Hansen. Hello, Brian.
Hey.
Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves very quickly, but I want to ask you one question. And that one question is, what drives you to do what you do? And we'll start with an introduction and answer that question while we're at it. Let's start with you, Richard.
Okay. So with the intro as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just a little bit about myself. I have a background, a strong background in sales and operations, and came on with the company right after it started about 4.5 years ago, and started a sales company. Basically built that from one person with me at my kitchen table, and been able to grow it significantly since there. In that time, coming in kind of more of a joint venture partner at first, we all became equal partners and merged all of our companies, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, it's interesting that you make a decision that becomes one of the best decisions, and I really feel the same way that you said that. But there's also something that you said just a second ago, and you started a company at your kitchen table. Mm-hmm. And what I want a lot of people listening to this audio or this video to realize is it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish. And so many businesses are started with an idea, a dream, and started from a kitchen table. For us, for Real Advisors, when we started this company, it was a credit card, an idea. And within 1 year, we broke the 7-figure mark, which I know is a huge accomplishment for any business. But for us, it was always one of the goals that I've always had. And I did it with the gentlemen that are on this line with me today. So as Richard said, it was simply a decision, to take a risk that most people don't take.
Yeah.
And if you're in that mindset of what do I do, or how do I do this, or how do I see other people succeed when I'm not, it stems from a decision. So thanks for that, Richard. Let's go to you, Dolmar. Tell me what drives you, why are we here today, and tell us a little about yourself.
What's up? Dolmar Cross here. Thank you, Francis. I am an entrepreneur. I've ran and operated and started multiple businesses. What has been my primary business for the past 16, 17 years that has brought me to this point is real estate. At 20 years old, I started out as a real estate investor, aspiring real estate investor. I failed and struggled in the beginning, but then with the help of the right mentorship and guidance, I was able to find my way. I've done well over 1,000 transactions in my career. And today I also teach, mentor, and coach other people how to change their lives, create real lasting change in their lives through the power of real estate investing. I'm also one of the co-founders of Real Advisors with my business partners here, Francis, Brian, and Richard. And I also have multiple other businesses as well that I operate. So happy to be here. One of my driving forces right now today, it has changed and evolved over time, but today it's really my kids. What's important for me is that I leave a legacy for my kids. When I was growing up, I didn't have any financial literacy or education. Oftentimes at the end of every month or beginning of every month, my family were usually broke, struggling, trying to get by. And after a while, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of living in that cycle. And what I've realized in my years today is I didn't need to be a victim, or I didn't need to be doomed to that situation. And thank God I realized that early on in my early 20s. And so I had the power of choice. I had the opportunity to choose, to decide to change my circumstance. And that's exactly what I did at 20 years old. I said, you know what? This isn't for me. I know that there's something out there greater for me, and I need to make a change now. And I did that. And even though everyone around me told me it wasn't possible, Dolmar, stay in school, get a good education, go to corporate America, I knew of something, I wanted something more. And so today now, after going through that experience in my childhood, I want my kids to have a different life going forward. And so I work my butt off today. I work hard today, but for a different purpose, a different reason. I want to break generational curses. I want to shatter limiting beliefs. I want to shatter financial barriers. I want to be able to create a future for my kids and their kids so that they never have to experience lack in their lives ever, 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 like I did.
I love that, Dolmar. And you brought up the theme again about the decision that you made a very long time ago and the decision you continue to make. And one other thing that's huge, and it's very important to me too, I believe that's why we all align very well, is that legacy. And for me, I know you have 3, I have 4, and it's, for me, a very long time ago, I decided that I want to do something. I want to do work that makes a difference, that creates an impact, that leads people to their purpose, but most importantly, very simply, something that my kids can be proud of. So they can look back on the life I've lived and the legacy I've created, not just in the wealth and abundance for them, but for the impact that wealth and abundance has led for others, which is, I believe, we wear the real gear, one of the main factors and drivers of what we do as a company. So Brian, I'm gonna go to you. Tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your history real fast, and what drives you.
Hey, I'm Brian Hansen. My main thing for many years now has probably been lead generation. It's what I love. I think I got that from early days in my life. I always liked video games, and when stuff started coming online, marketing became really hot online. I realized that this is the time where the little man can play with the big fish. It leveled the playing ground, where if you just dug in and learned a little bit about this new space, it's not about what corporation you're going against or anything. The small guy can win. And, I look at it as a video game. All the people online, my competitors, that's the game. I got to beat them all. I'm originally from Iowa. I moved down to Florida in my early 20s. So that's when everything started for me, myself, with a dream. And at that time, I wanted to move up the ranks of just having a good job. And by surrounding myself with entrepreneurs down here, I started to quickly learn it wasn't about who had the best college education. Not saying college isn't important. It's very important for some. But I just had it in my head that it was about your college education. It was about the financial, the finances that you have or your family had. And I realized it was all it was all just a myth. It really comes down to 2 things that I learned, especially from hanging around with a lot of successful people. And luckily I learned this in my early 20s, is it's a mindset shift. So when you actually realize that it's not about those things and it's just about having the dream and following it, it's the mindset shift and it's action. I'll run circles around anybody that's way smarter than me just because they don't use it. They know a lot of stuff, so great for them, but they don't actually put it into action. So I just learned if you believe in yourself and you follow your dream and you take action on it, it doesn't matter who you're up against. You're gonna conquer whatever you got to do. A lot of people give up when they fail. You just got to realize that most of the most successful people on earth have failed multiple times. And they're where they're at because they didn't give up. So anyway, my why has changed a lot over the years, because now I have two beautiful children, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And, you know, I think for most of us that have children, that does become your why. You know, I want to be the best dad, and I want to lead by example, and I want to, you know, leave something for them to be proud of their father for, and give them a good life and education, you know. And they may not even be entrepreneurs. Being an entrepreneur, it really isn't for everybody. It's for the people that want to make a choice and that want to follow that path. And for those that do, especially for those of you that are kind of new to this and just getting started, I do want to let you know, just to kind of shave that curve down, that it comes down to those two simple things. It's really that simple. It's shifting the way that you think about things and realizing you can achieve anything, and it's taking action and getting shit done. So that's a quick intro for Brian Hansen.
Awesome, Brian. I love that. And those two things are powerful. It's the mindset that you have and the action that you take, because, you know, I've heard this before. It's motion beats meditation. And we can get caught up in the cycle of procrastination or overthought or paralysis by analysis. But motion beats it all. Action beats it all. And one thing that you said was, you can run circles around someone who's smarter than you because you're taking more action on it. I love that. And the theme that came up again was legacy. And I think with action, by the way, you made the decision to come from Iowa to go to Florida. I want to drill back with you a little bit, because that story is so unique. You came to Florida. What did you do to get here? I think let's talk about that a little bit. What did you do to get here?
Yeah, sometimes I just feel like these stories are so expected, but you know, I did scrape my change jar to get enough for gas and to get down here to have a little bit of money. I had a pawn shop come to my house and buy all of my belongings, including my bed. So when I first got to Florida, I slept on the floor until I could afford another bed. I moved down with a couple people and had roommates, so we all shared, and we had just enough to get by in the first month. And you know, luckily, because I did start in a position here, I started getting surrounded by entrepreneurs like I mentioned before. And literally, like, my first business, I knew absolutely zero about. So it was car engines and transmissions. It was auto parts. I don't even know how to change my own oil. So I still don't. I mean, I got kind of the concept that you unscrew something on the bottom. I know how people do it, but I can't. And I became one of the biggest engine and transmission companies in the United States, knowing nothing about cars, but just understanding, you know, back then when there was the crash, people weren't buying new cars. They were fixing up the ones they had. And they, you know, people needed parts. So I went after the most expensive ones. And, you know, I surprised myself. I was like, holy crap, I guess you just need a dream and you need to take action and do marketing. And then I started realizing, like, hey, I did this. I didn't know absolutely zero about this. This can be replicated into any business, because everybody's saying, like, hey, find your passion. My passion was marketing, which I feel pretty blessed, because that means any business is a business I'm passionate about, because I just want to drive leads. So I can go into literally anything. If the market changes and I need to find a different industry, whatever it is, my passion is always going to work, because I love generating leads and watching leads come in. So, you know, from that, I ended up creating a few hundred different websites. I became a top affiliate marketer, and I had the good pleasure of meeting Francis Ablola during this journey early on. And he was like, hey, you want to teach what you're doing?
I heard that guy was trouble, by the way.
And I was like, man, nobody's going to listen to me. And I still believe that today. The first day I spoke, I was scared shitless, man. I did not want to get on stage. I was trying to get Francis to do the presentation for me. They finally got me up there. I remember, you know, a legend in this space, Ted Thomas, has been around a while. He's like, whatever you do, don't let them know you're scared. I got up there. I'm like, hey, everybody's telling me not to say I'm scared. I'm scared shitless. I was like, and this isn't water in my cup, it's vodka.
It's actually funny on that point. I remember you on stage and your cup was shaking like that. It's an advertisement right now. It's like shaking like a leaf. And like water was coming out of it. I just got myself wet from that. I was like,
yeah, I think I was supposed to. Out of it. I was probably supposed to end around 5 o'clock. I had people there till 9 because I had no idea the perception of time when I'm speaking. The funny thing is they were all staying up, and then people stood up and started clapping, and I was like, Well, I guess I could do that again. That felt pretty nice. People actually did want to hear what I had to say. And then I felt really good about the path I was on, because I was like, wow, not only do we take for granted what we know sometimes, which everybody does, people are trying to figure out like, hey, I don't know what I would teach or what I would do. And they don't realize how valuable the things that they know are. And I was one of those people. So I knew I could make money with it, but I never would have thought in a million years people would want to sit and listen to me in a room, much less pay a lot of money to listen to me. And I was very surprised. And I was like, I can literally make a future of changing lives and making good money at it. What else could I ask for? I mean, seriously, changing lives every day for the rest of my life and making a good income from it. This is what I want. And from there on, it was history, and we started combining with, we met Dolmar. Francis knew Dolmar before, but Rich, we started creating this A team of, players that we've all been in this space for so many years. I started in this about 2001, and all of us on this call, we've been in this for so many years. And it was like kind of a no-brainer for this A team to be assembled. And I don't think people were ready for us. And, we still make a lot of mistakes, and, we're always learning ourselves. So learning never ends, but it's all about grasping onto that passion. I had absolutely zero. And within a very, very short period of time, ended up with one of the biggest engine companies in our country, starting with nothing and not even knowing anything about cars. Like, how ridiculous is that? And now, I mean, I can't even tell you how many different things, from stone machinery to hot pepper sauces that I've gotten into, but they're all fun.
Yeah, man. And, a couple of things real quick, because I didn't get too much into, on my intro about, how all this came together, at least for me, but a couple of things that, Francis talking about, taking action, and, you talking about passion and taking action, and it just reminds me, when I originally talked to you guys, because I knew you guys by reputation, and, and where I came from, I was at a pretty high level position, and had really accomplished a lot at the company I was at before in this industry, obviously a different company. But one of the things is that, having a conversation with you, just by your reputation, I knew that there was something. And a friend of ours made that introduction that you were looking for, basically starting a company in the info space. And when I met with you, and it was talking about all the different things that you and Francis and Dolmar, who I hadn't even met yet, but I, again, knew you and Francis by reputation, what you wanted to build, why you wanted to build it, and what you wanted to bring to this industry that was different. It was new, a different way of doing things, and actually redefine the culture of what this industry is all about. And, literally within about 30 minutes, after 30-minute conversation, I made the decision to leave that company. Like, literally a company that I helped build from the ground up, coming out of the crash, especially on the sales side, and all the different things that I had accomplished there. I literally made a decision with no guarantees, zero guarantees, to come into this with you guys based on the vision that you three had for what you wanted to build. And it stood out to me so much because I'd realized in that 30 minutes, I had realized all the other things I wanted to accomplish, but where I was tapped out. I wanted to become an entrepreneur, really start my own business. I wanted to teach people how to close deals and sales techniques and strategies, and consult people on it, and consult companies in selling. I wanted to actually speak and be known, and be known for my expertise. But where I was at, that opportunity didn't present itself. There was nothing wrong with where I was at, but for the other things I really wanted to accomplish. And it wasn't that you guys promised that that's what this would lead to, but I knew that I never had an opportunity like this. And if I was going to have anywhere near an opportunity to accomplish the things I wanted to do, especially at that time, I had to take it. Plus, I wanted to be a part of something great. And the picture that you painted is something that I believe in today. I believed in it back then, and just wanted to be a part of it. And I didn't even consult my wife. I literally made the decision, and I told her, and she knew you guys more than I did back then, from previously working with you guys. And just because it was you guys, she was like, do it. Not a doubt. No guarantees, no health insurance benefits, no nothing. Just what I believed in myself of what I could build with great people like yourselves. And I don't say that lightly, right? And if I did not make that decision, right? If I did not make that decision at that point, you guys were looking to fill a need at that point when I came on, right? Because you were just getting it started. And if I did not make that decision right then, based off of that, I would probably still be in that position, because since I've come on with you guys, within a couple of months, I had the opportunity to start speaking at our events. I had an opportunity to create a sales course, and a sales training course to close real estate deals over the phone. I've had the opportunity to learn from you guys and not just be a business owner, but truly learn what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and having an unbelievable drive for, because I'm passionate about a lot of different things, but I'm passionate about our company. I'm passionate that I think one of the reasons that my passion has grown even stronger for what we all do today is because everything that we talked about almost 5 years ago, we've stuck to the principles. We did not change our model to be like everybody else, because we thought, well, because there's been times it's been a little bit like iffy for us. You know, we've hit roadblocks and struggles, and we knew other people's formulas because we helped build a lot of those companies, right? But the thing about that is we never got off our path of putting our students and our community first, and bringing something, and no pun intended to our name, but bringing something real and being completely real of everything we teach, everything we train people on. And it's a thing that still drives me as much as it did day one, because we've stuck to it. It's what we live by. It's what we promote. And it's something that I realized that I always wanted to be a part of. And if I did not have that opportunity, that one conversation, now all of this that we've built, all the stuff that I've been able to accomplish on a personal level and fulfill a couple of goals, all of that came from one conversation, and then making the decision with absolutely no guarantees. There's a little bit of fear involved, but I always look at fear as fear is a feeling that you get, but it's what you do with that fear. You either cower and stick with what's safe, or you battle it and go for it and ignore it. And that one conversation, if I would have hesitated, if I would have just thought, well, I got it really good here, I would literally still be there. So when you say that, and Francis talking about decisions and where it can take you, and also, it's about taking calculated risk as well, but I would still be where I was, and nowhere near the entrepreneur that I am today, but nowhere near having any of the opportunities that we've been able to create with each other since we all did this. So, yeah, that really stood out to me, man. And passionate about making money, passionate about being, in a specific niche. I think that's important, but more important than anything is literally making the decision to move forward and jump when you don't see a net. You know what I mean? You just got to trust in yourself and believe in yourself. And I believed in myself, but I also believed in you guys, that I don't have to see the net at the bottom. I know it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. And I still remember that day pretty vividly, because I had no idea you were even coming to meet me.
I know.
I was like, guys, this guy's determined to just go and do his thing. I'm like, I don't want to lose the chance to work with this guy. It's been amazing since. And that feeling that you're talking about, fear, like just being uncomfortable, it's literally it's opportunity, not fear.
Yeah.
Like that feeling that you get is usually because you're about to bust through a ceiling that you have and get into a next level where it seems normal. But those feelings when you're feeling kind of scared, that's a good feeling to have, because that means your life's about to change. It's getting out of your comfort zone, because you've never gone to that level yet. So if you start having that feeling when you're about to go into something new, it's probably because you have a great opportunity in front of you, and you need to latch onto that and follow it.
100% right. And there's a Thoreau quote that goes, "The mass of men lead quiet lives of desperation." And why is that? It's because they're stuck in fear. They're stuck in indecision. They're stuck in not wanting to take the risks, the safe path, the safe road, the road that everyone goes on, the average and ordinary. Call me anything but average and ordinary, right? I want to be extraordinary. And I know if you're listening to this right now, you want an extraordinary life. And to do that, you have to make the decision. You have to push past the fear. What Brian said on stage with the trembling hands on his drink, doing it because he knew he needed to, despite the fear. I believe there's the statistic of fear of speaking on stage is one of the biggest fears of people, even more so than dying. People would rather die than speak on stage.
Yeah.
But what Brian discovered and what he said is that by sharing what he knew, it impacted others in such a great way. And that feeling overtook it. And what Rich just shared and the decision that he made without a net, because he made that decision, opened the doors to so many things just in the first few months, but honestly, way more things in the future. So many more things in the future. So if you're listening to this and you're on the edge and there's a point of being uncomfortable, of a risk that you have to take, and you're so afraid of the backlash of what other people are going to say about you, or the risks of financial loss, or the insecurity of never having to go into this unknown. I know for a fact that your ability to be as comfortable as possible with risk, uncomfort, and the unknown, to be as comfortable as possible with that is a direct factor in your success. The more risk tolerant you can be, the more success comes to you. So one of the guys who I know goes through that and understands that more than anybody else and just goes to the wall is probably Dolmar Cross. One of the biggest risk takers of calculated risks and action takers that I can think of. Dolmar, I want to ask you this question, and I want to circle back on our culture and who we are as a company, but I want to ask you this question real quick. Tell me about some of the first decisions that you made that were big decisions of risk, but early on, not now, where risks are mitigated by success in business and you have a track record. But one of the first things that you had to do to prove to yourself and to others that this was the path that you were beyond as an entrepreneur.
Well, that's easy for me because I think about this moment often. I call this moment, I learned this from someone else who I was having this conversation with. And we were comparing stories. He called it a 7-figure decision because in that moment, sometimes you don't realize it until years later. That defining moment, that moment where you made a decision, you took action on it, turned into a huge opportunity, much bigger sometimes than what you even fathomed or thought possible. And this question brings me back to the time when, as a college student, 20 years old, I was a balloon artiste, making balloon animals just to get by, just to make money, just to pay my bills. Balloon animals like pregnant monkeys, kissing lovebirds, those kinds of things.
What does a pregnant monkey look like?
It has a baby inside the belly. It's like a little ball inside. Anyway, so pregnant monkeys. And what else was I doing? I was doing door-to-door sales, selling Dish Network satellites. And those jobs were not cutting it for me. I was oftentimes still broke all the time, not able to, sometimes, some days, not even able to afford food, to buy food. And so I told my father, I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It opened up my eyes to what's possible with real estate. And I didn't have much money. I didn't have any credit, or established credit, I should say. I didn't have much. Seemingly, I didn't have much. And so I told my father, Dad, I want to be a real estate investor. My dad looked at me and said, son, be realistic. Stay in school, get that education, graduate, go to corporate America, climb the rungs of that ladder to success, and retire one day. That, to my father, coming from the island of Jamaica, the Caribbean, in America, this country, that was his only idea of success, is working in corporate America, making a couple 6 figures a year. For me, I knew I wanted something different and more. And then I had my close friends around me in college that I shared this idea with. They all told me, hey, Dolmar, you're not going to make it. You're not going to succeed. You're going to fail before you even start. This isn't meant for you. My ex-girlfriends back then, literally everyone that would be able to influence my decision-making. Again, my parents, my close friends, my relationships, every single one of them didn't think that this was possible for me. So I was literally on my own. And to your question, that was a moment where I had to make a decision to go out and try this thing on my own. And I did it because, first of all, I was sick and tired of being in this situation, this lacking, limited situation. Something had to change, and nothing's going to change unless you make a change, right? And so I made that change. But also, in addition to that, I believed in myself enough. I believed in myself enough that given this opportunity, given the right advice, I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it my very best. And so I believed in myself enough that I could overcome and I could get into and break into this industry. And guess what? I failed on my first 4 deals. My first 4 deals were absolute failures. The first 2 houses I bought way overpriced. The third house, contractors took advantage of my inexperience. And the 4th house I bought, I'm already broke, back against the wall. But the 4th house I tried to renovate completely fell down on me. Now I'm not only in this deal with a $65,000 loan that was supposed to be for a house. Now I have a $65,000 loan on a house that's no longer there. All I have now is this piece of lot. Now I find myself in debt to a lender that's charging me 12% interest on that loan. And most people, if they went through what I went through, probably would have quit, thrown in the towel, given up, walked away. But I was already at rock bottom. And it was in that moment, and I'm glad I went through these challenges, because sometimes if things are rosy, always going well, it doesn't really give you the opportunity to really become who you need to become, right? And so I'm grateful for those challenges and that rough start, because it toughened me, it molded me, it prepared me for the person I had to become today, to step into the greatness I am today, to become the leader and mentor and coach that I am today to many others. I wouldn't have been able to have a testimony today if I didn't go through all of those tests back then. And so when I was in that moment, rock bottom, now in debt, I could have given up like most people probably would have, if they're honest with themselves, right? Oh my God, this doesn't work. Oh my God, I should have listened to these people who warned me not to get started in the first place. Instead, I doubled down. Instead, I took out a loan that was supposed to be used for my education, and I invested in a mentor. That mentor helped me negotiate my way out of that last bad deal. And that mentor put me onto a different path, teaching me a new financial skill set that allowed me to never, ever be broke again, ever in my life. And that moment, I will never forget. The last quarter of 2005, I made $60,000 that year. I started my real estate investment career 2005, January 2005. And the first 3 quarters were absolute failure after failure after failure after failure after failure, until I finally got a mentor that showed me the right way. And then it was boom, like a light switch, like seemingly overnight, it just skyrocketed. And I never looked back ever since. And I've been on this entrepreneurship journey that has still had its bumps and bruises, still has its ups and downs, but I'm also grateful for that. I embrace all of those ups and downs. I embrace all of the challenges. I embrace all of the pressure. I see it as a privilege, because it is certainly helping me, molding me, preparing me, helping me to step into the person I needed to become, to be able to positively impact the lives that we, through our company, Real Advisors, collectively with us as partners. It has helped me to be able to be the leader I am today, to be the mentor, coach, trainer I am today, to change the lives that we've been able to impact because of a direct result of our education and our trainings. I think about people like Alicia Drake, going through our training, coming through a domestic violence relationship and environment, being able to change her life. I think about school teachers who barely making enough to get by, like most school teachers today, right? I don't even know how they survive. But this particular person, single mother, as a school teacher, making $30,000 to $40,000 a year. I don't even know how she survived off of that. But what I love is she made a way. She was resourceful and she made it happen. But today, because of our trainings, our education, she's able to completely change and transform her life. Now she's closing deal after deal every single month. Now she's buying rental properties. I think about Brandon, who was just working at FedEx just a few months ago, now already realizing 6 figures in potential profits. I think about, Stephen, whose wife grew up in poverty, and him being able to create sentimental value by closing his first deal in his wife's neighborhood. I think about, people who were working 9 to 5 jobs, sick and tired of living that lifestyle of working for someone else's dream, building someone else's dream and empire, asking permission when they can get time off from work or how long they can get time off from work to spend more time with family. How many times can they vacation a year, right? And for a lot of people, they're waking up realizing, especially after 2020, they're realizing finally that job security ain't so secure. And it's time to make a change. It's time to do something different. It's time to build their own dream, their own economy. And I see so many of these 9-to-5ers jumping into this industry, doing what we're teaching and changing their lives. I can go on and on and on and on, but I don't think I would have been able to create this possibility for other people's lives if I didn't go through my own challenges, setbacks, adversity, trials, tribulations, all of that. And it all stemmed from the decision I made 16, 17 years ago.
We talk a lot about that importance of decision, but you mentioned something very important, is the challenges. And you think about resistance. The only way to get stronger is to face that resistance, is to have that resistance against you, to push through those challenges. In physical fitness and in life, resistance builds strength. And not only that, one thing that you mentioned and what we do with our company is that because of the challenges we've faced, and we've all faced challenges, we're able to help other people go through and simplify that bridge, simplify their challenges, make it easier on them to learn from what we've done as mentors to give them a better chance and a faster way to success.
Yep.
So they're not seeing that 3/4 of failure, the money and the time and the tears. And you better believe in business, there will be blood, sweat, and tears. It's not an analogy. But through that strength, through that ability to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, you get stronger.
For
So
sure.
I love that.
For sure. It's easy to start, right? Everyone can start something. Everyone can have a great idea. Everyone can have these dreams of possibilities, right? But it's also very hard to see something through till the end. Seeing something through till the end, something of significance takes perseverance. You have to be very focused. You have to be determined, driven consistently. And so after going through all those experiences in my past, I'm able to make decisions today a lot easier. I'm able to take on risk a lot easier. I'm able to have a different perspective and outlook on some of the initiatives and things that I do today. So, when no one believes in you, you have to have a deep relationship with your why. I think, Francis, you asked a question earlier, why do we do this? I think that was a very great way to start, because it's no question if you're going to have challenges. You absolutely will.
Absolutely.
And that's why you have to really, when I ask people, why do you want to be a millionaire? Why do you want to be in this industry? Why do you want to do that? Most people don't know the answer to that. They give a surface answer like, I want to make more money. I want financial freedom. But why do you want that? Why is that important to you? And why is it important to you now? Getting really deep with that answer is going to help you. And then think and be present to, how is it going to make you feel when you accomplish that goal? For example, the goal could be retiring your mother, retiring your parents. It could be as simple as that, but how is it going to make you feel when you accomplish that goal? That's what you have to tap into to keep you motivated, to keep you moving forward with positive momentum, because there will be challenges. And so think about this for a minute. Ask yourself, when no one believes in you, what are you going to be doing? Are you going to keep going? When everyone around you is resisting your ideas, your dreams, your passion, your progress, when you're getting no support, are you still going to push through? When you have setbacks, tests, trials, adversity, all of those things, difficulties even, and you just sometimes don't even feel motivated to carry on or push through or do it, are you going to continue fighting? Are you going to show up every day to the battlefield, ready to fight, ready to put in the work? Because everything that I just mentioned, everything that I just described is a part of the process of being an entrepreneur. Disappointments, pain, failure, setbacks, resistance, all of those things are part of the process. And you're going to go through all of that on your path to accomplish and actualize your dream, to achieve success. So you can't ever give up. You cannot give up. And mindset has a big part to play with that. A deep relationship with your why has is a big part of that as well. And so if you don't know that answer right now, take a moment and think about that, because that is going to become your rod and staff when the days look gloomy, because they're coming. When you feel like giving up, That's what you got to remember, why you started in the first place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like that, Dolmar, because hearing you go through all that, and I've been here since the beginning, and I've seen even you develop as that leader and mentor, and just our company in general and our philosophies. And one of the things that you said that stuck out to me just reminds me of when you say don't quit and don't give up. It reminds me of what I tell some of our staff and and some of our advisors as well, is that it's like, look, what this industry, just what we do and what we provide to our students, just to do all this, it's extremely hard. It's extremely challenging. And there's going to be times that you quit. And I tell them the one thing that quitting is not on me. Quitting is on you. But if you don't quit, if you keep going, if you keep looking for the right answer, if you keep grinding, you keep seeking that help, I will never let you fail. That's something I tell our staff all the time. I tell every newbie that comes in here. And I listening to you, I realize even more that that is what we bring to our students. It's what we bring to our community. Not just our mentoring students, just people that attend some of our other trainings. It's like, look, I'll let you quit. Sure, I'll let you quit, because quitting is on you. But if you don't, if you continue to drive, if you continue to believe in yourself, continue to believe in your goals and your dreams with us and our guidance, especially yours, especially somebody like Sharon, we will never let you fail. I will let you quit, but I will never, ever let you fail. And I really believe that not only do we bring that to our employees, but we also bring it to everybody in our community that's a part of this, part of that real movement. You know what I mean?
That's a driver behind what we do. It's that factor of success. It's that X factor, really, because I was about to ask another question, but you touched on it right now, is what's a key factor in success? It's having the support system, that group, that community, that mentor who has a vested interest in you. Because as an entrepreneur, it's very lonely. And, I'm blessed to have business partners who are with us on this journey. I'm blessed to have an amazing team. We have 50 people plus worldwide right now that work with us to support our team and our students and us, to have an amazing team that supports us. But truthfully, there's times when it's very lonely and you're on your own, especially in this world of the pandemic and shutdowns. Everyone's working from home, everybody's spread. It matters what you do when no one's watching. And it matters what you do when everyone's laughing. It matters what you do when times are tough. Because it's easy to do what we need to do when things are easy, right? It's easy to do the things that are simple when times are simple. But it's also easy not to do the simple things when no one's watching.
Yeah.
It's easier to do the things that are simple, but not do them when everyone's laughing. And that's the factor. That's the X factor. It's who's supporting you, who's around you. So as we wrap up, I want to be cautious of time here. And this was so great. I hope everyone listening gets the insights of why we do what we do as a culture, as a company. Our goal is to provide real information. That's why we're real advisors, real information that works right now, taught from people who are doing this day in, day out, and delivering thing that's no fluff. We teach programs and courses and training that creates real impact, because we can see the difference in people's lives that it makes. And not only is that, obviously, we're an organization, a company that's a profitable venture for us, but more importantly, it's a fulfilling and worthy adventure. I said adventure, and it really is an adventure.
Yep.
It's an adventure for us to take someone who is on their last dream, who may have seen every battle and challenge in life, and they're on their last dream, and see them work that dream into reality, because very few people in this world have what it takes to take a dream, turn that into an actual goal, and make that goal a reality. And I feel so honored to be working with each and every single one of you, each and every single one of our team members, our students worldwide, to help them turn those dreams into goals into reality. So as we wrap up, I want to ask one question. And there was a thread between this entire talk, and it was decisions, it was actions, it was mindset. What's one thing someone can do to improve their mindset to keep them moving forward so they don't quit, What's one thing someone can shift their mindset? I'll give you guys 1 second to think about that, and I'm going to go to Brian. What's a mindset shift someone can make to help them reach and achieve that goal?
I would say it's something that you can do that changes your mindset. And that's something I mentioned before. It's take action. All you need to do is to get a small win. And when you get that, you don't say, well, that sucked. I guess I'm going to give up now. It's just do something. Believe in yourself, but just do something. And once you get a little taste of, what could happen, then it's all over. Most people fail because they never start. That's the problem. And so just try it. And, the thing is, like, sometimes it all doesn't work, even when you give it everything you got. But it's probably better to know today that this isn't going to work out than spend the next 10 years just wondering if it would have. Get that out of your head and go on to the next thing that's going to work. But just take some action.
Mhm.
That'll change your mindset quick.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dolmar, one thing.
I think, just being more intentional about what you allow into your space, into your mind. For me, a lot of people go to the gym, for example, and they listen to like pump up music, right, to get ready for the gym. And while that's great, I listen to motivational music. When I'm in the car driving, commuting somewhere, I'm listening to things that are nurturing and helping to grow and expand my mind. And I'm doing affirmations every single day. One of my very favorite quotes of all times, and I learned this from my mentor. I don't remember who said this quote, but one of my favorite quotes is, whatever the mind conceives and believes, it can achieve. And I think it was Tony Robbins who says that success is like 80% psychology and 20% skill. What that means is, my takeaway from that is that you can get, like, once you get in the right frame of mind, you can almost guarantee your success at whatever it is that you choose to do in life. If you just reshape the way you think, the way you function, you can go beyond your wildest dreams, beyond what you even thought was possible, just because of this right here. So one thing you can do right now is start listening to motivational speeches, start reading books, start pouring into yourself, start educating yourself, do affirmations every single day. It's something that you're going to have to work on. This shift in your mindset is not going to happen overnight, especially if you're like me, you had years of conditioning to think like what I call a consumer mindset, this limiting mindset that is not going to get you anywhere. And that mindset, what I consider the consumer mindset is someone that says, hey, I can't do this. I can't do that. It's not possible. When I make posts on my social media account sometimes about what's possible with real estate, sometimes I laugh to myself about the comments when people said, that's not possible. There's no way. That is a closing statement, right? That is a statement of that person's just not coachable. That's a statement. Whereas a producer mindset type person says, how is it possible? How could this work? When I do this, what is the return on investment for me? What doors and opportunities could be opened up for me? That type of response opens up the mind to think. It opens up the mind to be resourceful. It opens up the mind to ask better questions and seek advice. And so think about that for a moment. Two different things, I can't versus how. Semantics wise, it doesn't seem like a big shift, but it's a huge shift in your mindset, the way you think, the way you function. And so the person asking how is thinking differently. They're spending time pouring into themselves. They're spending time asking better questions. They're spending time surrounding themselves with like-minded thinking people that want more out of life, that want to advance. And so that's what I would do. Surround yourself with the right people, pour into yourself, spend more time educating yourself, listen to things that are motivating, empowering, uplifting, inspiring. And that is a great place to start. And you'll start to see the shift. Again, it's not going to happen overnight, but be intentional about this every single day you wake up, and you'll be surprised about the progress and the things that will start to shift in your own life.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Dolmar. Richard, done one thing to shift your mindset. To help
One thing, I would probably say, just right off the bat, man, I'd probably say FTW. That's what I would tell somebody. I'd
What does
say
that mean?
it says, well, it means I'm going to try to keep this PG, right? But it's F the world, right? It's belief in yourself, and F the world. Everybody in the world who's against you, all the naysayers. It's belief and a drive in what your dream or what your passion is. And so I say F the world and go out and do it anyways. And don't do it randomly. I mean, you got to become an expert, right? You got to know everything about what you're trying to do. You got to know about your competition. You got to know about the newest trends. But more importantly, you got to believe in yourself and do not falter in your decision to take action and move forward. And F the world. And you got to say it to yourself every day, because I do it when I go out with some of my team members and we do shots and we toast. I say, and I don't use these letters, you know what I'm saying? But I say, F the world. We're doing it anyways.
FTW.
FTW, F the world. We're doing it anyways. That's exactly what I would
FTW.
say.
I love it. I love it. Amazing. Let's go. FTW. Okay.
FTW, baby. I'm going to walk
Doing it
around my
anyways.
house saying that all day now. FTW.
Doing it anyways. Forget what they all say. It doesn't matter what they say. We're doing it
Yo.
anyway.
When my wife come at me and say something, FTW. When my kids annoy me like FTW. When the naysayers or whoever the haters are on Facebook or social media, Instagram, FTW. I'm gonna start saying that from now on.
That's right. FTW. Doing it. I'm doing it anyways. Because I think most important about that, man, is that you got to stand up. And that's when you decide to take action, you decide to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, and take back control of your life and control your own destiny, man. You got to, when you make that decision, yeah, it is FTW, and it's literally that's your opportunity. It's your opportunity to take it. It's your opportunity to scream back at the world. You know what I mean?
Putting it in chat right now to a couple of people. FTW.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. So as we wrap up, I'll share my one thing to change your mindset and shift your mindset. And that is take action right now to subscribe and like this podcast and share it with your friends. We want to produce more amazing content for you. We want to impact you. We want to give you things that we know from our own experience in business, real things that we do on an every single day basis to grow and to share. So your mindset shift starts with hitting the subscribe button and coming back. If you have any questions for us, email us at podcast@realadvisors.com. And actually, let's go. Make sure to hit us up on social. So Richard Dunn, what's your social?
It is real_Rich Dunn on IG.
Real_Rich Dunn on IG. Dolmar Cross.
Chocolate honey on IG. I'm just kidding. It's Dolmar Cross on IG.
At Dolmar Cross. Brian Hansen.
It's at Brian, BRIAN, Hansagram, HANSAGRAM.
At Brian Hansagram. And actually, we'll do a podcast about this. Brian's one of the most ninja Instagram marketers on the planet, but he only has like 600 followers, right? on his IG. And he does that for a reason. That's his personality thing. That's what he wants to do. But he is ninja at it. He's probably one of the most well-connected in the world of Instagram and the world that we live in. And so we'll do a whole session on that in the future. I am at Francis Ablola, FrancisAblola. Again, this is the Real Advisors Podcast. If you want more, like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you, gentlemen, and have an amazing day. Keep it real.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Great first episode.
FTW.
FTW. I felt that when he was talking, like, oh, here we go. When he said it, I was like, oh, he's about to go in. I don't know what it means yet, but he's about to bring it.
I love it.